All right, there we go. So thank you everyone for joining in today. Again, my name is Armando Perez. I'm one of the team leads here for the Summer Job Connection program. This particular presentation is going to be geared towards employers. So if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and send us. Jen and I will be paying attention to the chat box. We'll also leave some room at the very end to, answer any questions and concerns that you all may have. And if you've already completed the application, if you have any questions on that regards as well. So some of the discussions that we're going to go over again is the summer job connection in all. Some of you are returning employers that have had some form of involvement with CareerSource in the past. Some of you are new, so we will go over the summer job connection. We'll talk a little bit also about what's changed, the benefits of the SJC on the employer and participant side. We'll provide you with some metrics, information, funding, and program goals, the scope of the program, the eligibility process, not just for the youth, but also for the employer, so that you have a good understanding on what the youth are doing on our end in order to become one of the SJC participants. And we'll talk a little bit of the Youth Summit, which is going to be very crucial for all the employers, and the portfolio aspect on what the participants will be required to complete. We'll also go into a little bit of Career Edge, which if you've applied for the program, you know that is the site that we're utilizing for the applications and timesheets and the monitoring and so forth. We'll also discuss a little bit on the 2020 survey results and then key dates, and we'll leave it open for questions and answers towards the end. So to start off, the Summer Job Connection program is a program that provides a learning-rich, subsidized work experience that offers participants an opportunity to participate in activities that are, one, age-appropriate, are designed to encourage participants to take responsibility in their learning day-to-day operations while they're at work, also to understand and manage their career options, give them that opportunity to sort of explore, learn on social skills, and encourage an environment that will help them interact positively with other individuals, whether it's supervisors or actually coworkers and so forth. It introduces participants to the world of work and helps them develop a thorough understanding of employment expectations, not just at your work site, but in future work sites. We want to be able to set that standard for them. Provides opportunity for career awareness exploration, and this is pretty much the key of the program, essentially, because a lot of participants may not know exactly what they want to do, and this is their opportunity to do some exploration with the internship portion. It also celebrates youth success as well too. So for the why have a summer job program? Well, it does stimulate Hillsborough County's growth, and again, it just provides services to the participants to grow as an individual. Sometimes even with employers, participants are exposed to some leadership skills in that aspect as well too. A paid work experience program is essentially a planned and structured learning experience that will take place at a workplace. It will provide the participant with opportunity to career explore and skill development within that particular career that they're being placed at. May take place in a private for-profit sector. It could be a nonprofit organization. It could be a public sector organization. So we pretty much it's a catch-all essentially. So any employer can apply for the program to benefit from the paid work experience.
Okay, what changed in 2020? So as you all know, the COVID-19 pandemic took over our lives. And so it did pose us with a challenge with trying to identify a line of service that we can provide to our young adults. And so we had to make a decision to pivot, and we came up with an innovative and creative virtual platform to offer a 4-week online customer-focused career exploration curricula for our young adults. This provided us an opportunity to give them some self-awareness, to identify their passions and who they are as a person. There were some self-assessments, there were some learning assessments that they completed, and they explored various careers and post-secondary educational options. They also had an opportunity to do some financial literacy and learn some employability skills. Not to mention, at the close of each week, we provided a lunch and learn Zoom sessions, Zoom calls with community leaders. These Zoom sessions gave them an opportunity to speak with individuals and professionals within the industry to have an idea of what it's like to be a day in the life of those individuals and understand a little bit about their career path. Some of the individuals that participated on these lunch and learn and Zoom calls are State Representative Susan Valdez. She took time out of her day to speak with our students after learning about our program and told them a little bit about her path to becoming a state representative. We had an individual from Casper Company, McDonald's, that owns over 63 McDonald's in the state of Florida. We had an individual from International Paper Company from the HR department to talk about their organization. Suncoast Credit Union, Minimize USA, Parwani Law. We had a psychology or a doctor that joined us. Global Solution Enterprise, Publix. Publix was a great speaker, especially for young adults, because they gave them an opportunity to even submit their resumes and apply for some positions. We had some entrepreneurs from Fade and Full, Regions Banks, and Synapse, who works with startup companies in the Hillsborough County area. So we did have a vast range of employers and businesses that participated with us this past summer. And we're definitely looking for the opportunity for more businesses to join us this year for our lunch and learns. We're going to be expanding our lunch and learn component for businesses to start as early as March. So if you or anyone you know that's an outstanding speaker and has a great story that they could share with young adults, please don't hesitate to let us know. Some of the benefits to our employers and our local businesses is, again, they have opportunity to invest in our future talent pipeline. They are mentoring and motivating young adults and youth to be the future of our workforce. You also get an opportunity to accomplish some critical projects that otherwise you may not get achieved with your current FTE counts within your organization. You get an opportunity to provide these students with some career exposure and really just get an opportunity to expose them to your line of business. If you think about your work and your line of work, or even some other industries, some students may have never had an opportunity to work in those fields had it not been for programs like this. You also have an opportunity to stimulate and reinvigorate our existing workforce. You have some employees on your team that when they start working with a young adult, they get a little bit more of a burst of energy when they see these young people on the floor and working alongside. Not to mention, you also have the opportunity to hire and train at no cost to you. And you can develop, again, top talent. So, this is a great opportunity for you all to look at these students that you end up selecting over the summer to identify individuals that maybe you would want to hire for any vacancies you have down the line. So now we have a employer that partnered with us this past year, giving us a brief testimony. I hope everyone can hear that.
The summer program with Career Source Company has been very instrumental for priority care solutions. We have been able to take a youth with no experience, work experience, and we have been able to teach them some leadership skills, teaching more listening skills, communication skills.
Actually, he's taught me quite a bit about computers, because what he's doing is going from program to program and inserting different information in different files. And I said, you can't believe it. I believe. I don't know a lot of things. He helps me with a lot of things. I think that joining Career Source gives young adults a good opportunity to put their foot in the door somewhere and learn different experiences and to learn how to deal with people.
For us, ARI has not only been able for us also to start molding the new generation and the new leadership that we have in our country. As you know, we have a lot of leaders coming at a very young age. And I believe that our intern has a superb skill set, not only that he's going to school for management information system, but his analytical skills has helped us take a project. He has break it down in steps, and we have been able to streamline the process and make it more effective. To the case that now it has wrote for us a policy and procedure that we're going to be able to use, where we have other interns or other associates managing the product in the coming months. We're super excited about the success that we have had.
Okay. So again, that was one of our employers that participated with us this past summer. Also, I would also like to make mention that the next video is going to be from one of our students that participated in the program. Oh, excuse me. Oh, we also have the next video. It's coming up just one moment. I apologize. So the benefits for our young adults in participating in this program is that they have an opportunity to receive a once in a lifetime chance in working in local businesses and being exposed to career opportunities. They can gain valuable and critical skills that employers want or need. They get the opportunity to get exposure to the career industry. They get networking opportunities. They get to learn value of earning wages through our financial literacy program and also through working. And they have an opportunity to stimulate Hillsborough economy. Here's our video of one of our interns from this past summer. Oh, great, it doesn't work. Sorry about that. I apologize for that. As I said, technology can be your friend or your enemy. And so today it looks like it's going to be my enemy. So we'll move on and continue the presentation to discuss additional information regarding our program. Armando?
There we go, unmute. What I'll end up doing is just sending the link for the participants video so that you all can see it. Her name is Chelsea Delancey. She actually participated in the 2020 youth program while the pandemic was happening. And she basically explains her experience while doing the career exploration model. So these are some metrics for 2020. So for 2020, most of our participants that came in through the door, their ages were around 16 and 17. So 400 participants were served on that age. So these are high school individuals that perhaps have never had a chance to do any type of career exploration and at the same time get paid for it. As Jen mentioned before, our models are broken down into 3 different models. We have paid work experience, we do have the career exploration and the leadership component. As far as the education level, again, hitting that 10th and 11th grade, these are individuals that are coming in right on time, right before they're graduating high school to do some exploration. So this opportunity here was definitely appreciated by a lot of the participants. And some of the surveys that we actually conducted, we know that 91% of the participants that enrolled in the program for 2020 successfully completed. We also want to point out that 95% of the participants actually said that they will like to participate again. So last year we served close to 500 participants in our program. 95% of those individuals are willing to come back. We do have 1,000 slots available as of today. Hopefully with funding that can actually increase, but knowing this information, we know that most of our applicants that are going to come back this year, they're probably going to come back from 2020 and hopefully take advantage of those internship opportunities. We had roughly about 1,500 applications last year. Our target goal is to serve 1,000 participants. As mentioned, For employers, we are looking to onboard 200 employers into our Summer Job Connection program, and essentially increase external funding sources if all possible. This way we can actually not just serve 1,000 participants, but serve more than that. The application launched just last week on the 4th of January, and we have successfully submitted 600 applications so far for participants. So, you know, it's not gonna take too long to meet that 1,000 goal. Obviously, you may have some individuals that may not qualify and so forth. So we always allow, you know, more than that, but we want to be able to serve even those that don't qualify. And sometimes those external funding sources is what allows us to be able to provide services to those individuals that may be over income and don't qualify for the program. The funding sources that are coming through this year, we have WIOA funding, which is a law established Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. We also have funding from TANF, Temporary Assistant Needy Families, and then miscellaneous. I believe right now we have some funding from United Way. Again, we're hoping to get additional funding as the program progresses so that we can actually serve all participants and not have a limitation for our young Hillsborough County residents. For the Summer Youth Employment Program, as far as the scope goes, we want applicants to complete the application. There are assessments that participants will have to take part of. Some of those are to learn about their interests and some of their interest in different careers, and we do that by providing them a My Next Move assessment. There's also assessments for basic skills deficiency that we look at to see if there's anything that we can address in the meantime, right before they start employment, because once we get them enrolled, we are working with them throughout the next several months in work readiness training. We'll do financial literacy. Jen talked a little bit about the Zoom meetings. That's something that's also very important, the lunch and learns. So not only will we have the lunch and learns for the months of June, July, but we'll also have them in between March, April, and May. And we'll also be very hands-on with the participants to kind of gear them and prepare them for that opportunity of employment come June through July for the employer portion. So we have 3 different models right now. The first one is the paid work experience. For the employer portion of the program, I would say that that will be the main model that you guys will benefit from, because we're allowed to place participants at a work site. So CareerSource is the employer of record. Works compensation is also covered by state of Florida. Hopefully there's no incidents in the workplace, but if there are, you are covered again, and that's something that's provided by the state of Florida. We pay them $12 an hour at 24 hours a week. We want them to work all 24 hours if all possible. However, we do not pay anything above the 24 hours. So we do ask that employers think about how many individuals you're going to need throughout the day. If you need to stage them in different times, like have someone in the morning and then someone else in the afternoon, so that way you can total up the hours of need in your particular company. The second model that we have is the career exploration, which was what the participants and CareerSource kind of did for 2020, considering with the COVID-19, as Jen mentioned, we had to pivot, we had to, be innovative and provide a customer-focused experience for the individuals in a career exploration model, but online. It was a 4 weeks. They were provided an incentive for $200 every week. And at the end of the program, there was a final project that they had to complete. And it was a form of a presentation via PowerPoint, where they had to present the 3 careers that they explored, what they learned. They also had an opportunity to explore some colleges and do virtual tours. Now with COVID, colleges have also gotten very innovative and have been uploading videos of different tours within their campuses and so forth. The last model that we have, and this is going to be very unique to only 40 to 50 participants, to participate this year. So this is a new model that we're introducing to the Summer Job Connection program. And this is to be able to give opportunities for those individuals that have a passion to be leaders. Many times in classrooms, there might be a group of 5. Out of those 5 individuals, there's always 1 or 2 that are always leading the group. So hopefully we can be able to provide them with some additional leadership skills. So Career Source Tampa Bay has committed to work with 40 to 50 participants and provide them training on leadership skills, and then provide them exposure to do community projects where individually in different sets of teams, they're going to be taking a community-based project and kind of go out in the community and get those accomplished.
Okay, and also I want to add, Armando, 2 things for employers. This is exciting in regards to our paid work experience positions. Typically our internship positions have been $11 an hour, and recently there was an increase in the wage to $12. Also, for the career exploration model, although this is more so for our young adults to participate in this 4-week online model, employers, if you do feel that then feel something that you could participate in this model, we'd definitely be looking for employers that can participate in the weekly lunch and learns. It would not be every week commitment, just 1 week for about an hour or so to speak with young adults. And again, if you have, if you're interested or someone that would be a phenomenal speaker to talk to the young adults, please don't hesitate to let us know. All right. So eligibility criteria for our young adults, again, they need to be a Hillsborough County resident. They must be between the ages of 16 and 24, and they can be in school or out of school youth. And then they also must meet specific eligibility criteria. If there is any young adults on this call that want to learn more about the eligibility criteria, you can either go ahead and complete our application and answer the questions, or we will also have another Zoom call for young adults and parents and guardians on Saturday, the 23rd at noon, and it's also posted on our website. Regarding eligibility criteria for employers, of course, it's a Hillsborough County-based businesses, nonprofit, government, and private for-profit. We do look for employers that have a targeted industry focus and meaningful work for our young people. We also make sure that the employers that participate have an understanding and commit to mentoring our young adults. We don't want, someone just kind of being stuck in a corner and giving filing tasks all summer. However, filing is a very great learning tool to start off with, but we want this to be meaningful and a learning experience for our students as well as our businesses. And then employers must also complete and execute a summer job connection agreement. Some of the targeted industry focus that we look at for our region are some manufacturing, construction, building and trades, hospitality, tourism, transportation, logistics, retail, financial shared services, healthcare, and IT. This is not saying that if you are not within those industries, you cannot be a part of our program. This is just some of the targeted industries focus that we look for, especially because those are some of the training programs that we provide training in, training assistance for. So the first step for employers will be to complete the Summer Job Connection employer application. The second step is for the Summer Job Connection staff will reach out to you to ensure that their application information is correct and completed in its entirety. Summer Job Connection staff will conduct a worksite visit either in person or virtually. Execution of an Summer Job Connection and employer contract. And then step 5 is completing a required training outline. So part of your application process will be to complete a job description or training plan for your student. So for example, if you are looking for an administrative assistant and you have 10 duties that they will be working on, we ask that you complete those 10 duties to the best of your ability. A minimum of 5 will be accepted on the application, or you won't be allowed to complete the application at a time. So making sure that there's some learning rich activities for students to complete while they're there will be part of that training plan and job description in our system. Make sure that you have about 30 to 45 minutes to dedicate to completing this application, or at least have your job description details kind of outlined and scripted out before you go into the application. The application itself is fairly simple. It's just that when it comes down to the training plan and the schedule, or job description and the schedule, sometimes it becomes a little bit tedious to try to do at one time. Make sure you have all your contact information and supervisors information up to date, or current when you're completing the application, because we do ask for a primary supervisor as well as an alternate supervisor to be listed on the application. And also if there are any supervisors that will be on vacation during the time in which our students will be on your work site. We just want to make sure that we don't hit any glitches or any bumps in the road in regards to approving timesheets when students are placed with your organization. And last but not least, any returning employers that have an active and executed SJC contract will not need to complete step 4. All those steps will need to be completed, meaning just redoing our application and filling out the job description, etc. So I just went over everything in regards to step. This is just another flow chart in regards to that. Next, some of the positions that position titles that we've had in the past where employers have worked with us are listed here. It's not all inclusive, but these are just some of the titles that are available for you all to use and be creative. Again, you can always think outside of the box, be creative in your approach in regards to what positions students can apply for and what type of jobs they can do within your organization. Armando?
All right. As far as the Youth Summit is basically utilized almost as a job fair event for the participants that are going to be doing the paid work experience internship program. At which point we're going to also invite employers to come in and do almost like a speed dating sort of concept to interview participants that are attending the event. So the Youth Summit portion of the Youth Summit will be addressing work readiness skills or training per se. So communication, being flexible and adaptable to the workplace that they're going to be applying for. So therefore, when you are interviewing the participants, they sort of kind of have that embedded. As mentioned previously, we are still working with them between the months of, March, April, May. We're going to have some good employers join for Zoom calls that will also provide motivation and so forth. So by the time they come to the Youth Summit, they should already be with the have the idea of the job interview and so forth, and be able to have those interpersonal skills and leadership skills and able to problem solve within the workplace in itself. So again, the Youth Summit will take place sometime in June. In the next couple of slides, we'll be providing key dates on when this will be happening. I had mentioned earlier about the portfolio. So the portfolio is something that we utilized in the 2019 Summer Job Connection Program. So this was pre-COVID, and essentially the portfolio was a weekly assignment booklet that participants will document almost as a diary or a journal of how their experience was within week 1, week 2, and it was a progressive portfolio. And essentially participants were sort of challenged to write down skills that they've learned or challenges that they've had and be able to kind of put that all in paper so that way they saw their progression. So at the end of the program, we did have a prize giveaway for portfolios that were, submitted in the best quality possible. And, participants were looking forward to that. So we had a lot of participants that actually completed the portfolio and saw a lot of benefit to it. So for 2020, that's our new portfolio front cover there. It's going to be like superhero themes, and it's going to, again, the concept is that they're going to be completing weekly assignments, not to just be able to challenge them to point out what they've learned, but also to, document their progress within the workplace. Career Edge is what all employers and participants are going to be utilizing whenever their application is completely processed. I'll just talk a little bit on the youth perspective. These particular, so these are some career modules per se. So essentially, we open this up for the participants so that they can do some self-developmental job readiness particular skills. So Career Edge will provide them with tools on time management, communicating. They even have a interview simulator in there that will actually help participants practice their interviewing skills and will provide them with questions that they will need to ask. And the staff in our department will have access to those videos that the participants are uploading so that we can critique and provide them with some feedback on how to get better on those particular interviewing skills. So this is a very unique feature that all participants that are entering our program are able to access. And this is in addition to the monthly, assignments that they're going to be doing with financial literacy, the Zoom calls, in addition to all the mentoring that we're going to be doing also in the summit as well too. So for timesheets, this is more related to both ends, participants and also employers. Because at the end of the day, participants are required to document their daily hours on a timesheet. Again, as you can see, total hours is 24. Those timesheets have been filled out completely and a total of 24 hours for each of those weeks. The internship is scheduled for 6 weeks, but you'll see on this particular picture here, 8 weeks, because sometimes depending on funding, there might be a possibility of extending the internship for an additional 2 weeks. And again, that's all depending on funding. But essentially, the supervisor will be requested and required to go into the timesheets and approve them on a weekly basis. So we request participants to do daily attendance, and then worksite supervisors are scheduled to do weekly approval for the timekeeping and so forth. Their first check for the participants will be a live check, which we will then deliver to the worksite for the participants. And then moving forward, it'll be direct deposited. For participants that are doing the leadership component, this doesn't necessarily apply because we will be compensating them in a incentive capacity. Monitoring is very important for us to be able to report success and be able to provide support, not just for the participants, but also to the employers as well too. So we do have a set of physical and virtual planned visits that we actually go to the work site and talk to our participants, talk to the employers. We have weekly tools where participants are asked to answer questions. And again, this is to ensure that they're learning, to ensure that they feel comfortable in the workplace, to be able to ask questions and so forth. And again, questions to address any questions that are relevant to the youth and participants. So you will get that additional support from us, the career specialists, and again, provide you with ongoing assistance as the program progresses.
Okay, thank you again, Armando. And in regards to the monitoring and the mentoring aspect of the program, we just ask that, as we conduct our visits, whether it's by phone, email, or in person throughout the course of the summer, you allow our team to help troubleshoot any concerns or issues that you may have with our young adults. We want to remind you that they are young people. Some of them have worked before, some of them have not. So if there are any issues or challenges that you may experience, phone usage, being late, not, contacting appropriately in the chain of command, those things, please allow us to help troubleshoot, be the liaison to work with those students to fix those behaviors before you just decide that you want to fire them or get rid of them or replace them. We want to make sure you understand that these students this is a learning capacity. This internship component is supposed to be structured where they have activities, and we want to make sure that you are offering guidance and support and encouragement so that we can develop the competence for these young people and their character as well. We want to foster career awareness and exposure and provide real life on the job training experiences. As we move forward, you all will be assigned an actual career counselor to work with. And so that's the person that you'll report to and let them know of any major issues or concerns. Of course, if it's a violation of your company policy, which leads to termination or anything of that nature, we definitely understand that, but please make sure you're letting us know and communicating with us of any issues or concerns when it comes to the student. Don't let us find out a week later that they've been released. Let us know in the moment, if at all possible, of any issues and concerns so we can assist with troubleshooting and figure out how this does not happen or occur again. So just to kind of wrap it up, we do want to let you know that we did launch our application. So the application is live and ready to go for you all to apply. As you can see, today is the coffee talk for employers. And then we will start doing visits and registration or intake appointments for our students starting on the 25th, as well as for our businesses. So do allow us some time to start reaching out and making contact. Next, we have on March 12th will be our closing date for our application. And then June 7th through June 11th is when we have our youth summit. For those employers that will apply for our program and choose to go for it with our internship component, we will ask that you kind of keep that week on reserve for participation in the hiring event to select your youth that will work at your work site. We are hoping to still plan to do an in-person event versus a virtual, but we'll keep you posted as further details come to fruition. Next, June 14th, students will start their first day of work or the career exploration program or the leadership. All students will start on the 14th. The last day of our career exploration cohort will be on July 9th. That again, that's only a 4-week component. And then every student will complete either the leadership or the paid work experience on July 23rd. Typically, every year, if we do have funds, we do allow for a 2-week extension if funds permit, and for students that have performed exceptionally well on the worksite and the worksites choose to want to keep them on. So, for students that are on the call, make sure that you do your best on wherever you end up getting placed at. And you make sure that, you can strive to hit that 2-week extension to remain on your worksite. Or if there are positions available within your organization, this is an opportunity for you all to extend an offer of employment for your students. So that concludes our slides and our presentation for today. I hope that I've answered your questions. So if you have questions, you may unmute yourself or you can type them in the chat and we'll start addressing those questions now. Again, my name is Jennifer Wilson and I'm the director for the youth program. And that was Armando Perez, our SJC team lead. So if you have questions, he had to jump off the call, but I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. And Armando has also posted the link for the employer site for you to apply online.